Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about the enemy. Who is it, really? See you in a minute. Today I'm going to read you guys a journal entry from when I was in a particular acute care setting hospital. I'm not going to say the name of this hospital because then you guys might be able to identify the doctor who did this, so I'm not going to reveal any identifying details. But I think you're going to be shocked by what you hear. Now, this is a journal entry that I wrote. It's actually a couple of journal entries I'm going to share with you. It's about some advice a doctor gave me regarding my D.I.D, though nobody at that time knew. Like, my psychiatrist and psychologist knew I had D.I.D, but they were not transferring it in their notes to hospitals. They would describe it in vague terms like identity confusion, identity confusion and dissociation, combined. What is that? That's D.I.D. Okay. But I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder at this time, and so I just sort of want people to see what it was like back in 2004 and how doctors thought was a great idea to treat me and the advice they just thought was wonderful to give me. This is a psychiatrist who gave me this advice, so I warn you, it's a little bit shocking when you hear it. And so I'll show you the journal. Like, this is it. It's written in crayon because I wasn't allowed to have writing utensils of any sort except crayons. But soon after this entry, I was allowed to have markers, and so you'll see one entry that's marker. Yeah, I was on strict precautions, let's put it that way. So this was December 4th, 2004. I was inpatient at a particular, acute care unit for psychiatry. And I was given some advice. So I'm going to have this up on the screen so you guys can read it too. So I'm going to read you some now, and I'm probably going to have a voiceover take over the rest. And if you don't want to hear it, you can always fast forward through it to the rest of my commentary. But I'm going to start. Feeling suicidal this morning.
I don't really know why. It might have something to do with the reason I want to cut this morning. Nobody wants me as I am. They want me to be good, to use my intellect and be logical. But emotions, my emotions at least, aren't logical. They are irrational. The problem is that they are so powerful and growing more powerful by the moment that my rational mind is drowned in a flood of emotion. Dr. Blank wants me to call this side of me the enemy. But what does that mean? Maybe I should call this side of me George W. Bush. That's more palpable. But I fear the perpetuation of this thought will lead to paranoid delusions. So what to do? I feel that familiar sensation, a sheet around my neck, a blade on my skin. It's becoming unbearable. I might have to tell staff because this writing just doesn't seem enough. I very badly want to hurt myself. I will just keep writing till Becky the nurse is available to talk to me. I hope it's soon. She's the only person on this shift that I feel I can talk to. I considered talking to him, but I can tell he's not in the mood to be understanding. Depression and a numbness washes through me, an inundation. I am barely treading water. All is dark and the water black, less a panic than a sinking. I think of Sylvia's yew and how night hangs fatly from its leaves. The weight, a heaviness I understand. The self clasped and pulled through depths of seaweed, soft as quill feathers, but dangerously alluring. To let myself sink, to let the blades sink into my flesh, drop, falling, down and down and down again, till nothing else matters except a razor and the red of my blood flowing, filling the room, the building, the grounds, till there is none left. No one could deny me then. This is my blood you are swimming in, I'll say. This is me, the whole me, and you can't choose your parts. I am not a jigsaw. I want to write something lovely now. A poem would be fantastic, but I'll settle for a few images. Water feathers like crow wings, the sky interminably tense. The poplars, a hand blooms to a touch. Tendrilled fingers uncoil tiny snakes, cruel flowers. That's good for now. I just needed to touch on some images that have seemed to be sepulchered in my abdomen. Not that that makes sense, but that is where I feel my words. Today I have a persistent urge to cut. It's not as immediate as some of my sudden urges, but I know that if I were home, I'd be cutting. It makes me a little antsy, this lingering desire. I hope I don't hurt myself because I really don't want to, though part of me, the enemy, craves it. I don't know how I'm going to tame the enemy. Dr. Blank says that I have to let the urges wash through me. It's part of Linehan's concept, radical acceptance. I have to accept that I feel this way and not fight it, which is what I've always done, fight it. I have to acknowledge the enemy's presence and let it pass through me. But to tell the truth, I find the enemy much more alluring than anything else. I want to cut, and cut deeply. Oh, how I need to cut, to cut, to cut. That's what I need to make this tension go away.
So what did you guys think? Was it good advice? Should I call part of myself the enemy? That's the advice I got from a psychiatrist about my alters, which they were not calling alters. They were not saying I had D.I.D. My psychiatrist and psychologist were, but not this particular doctor. And so he just thought I had borderline personality disorder with a lot of identity confusion and dissociation and other behaviors. They just never put it together into what it actually was. We all know dissociative identity disorder. So I would have amnesic episodes. I would do things. I wouldn't think I did things. And so all throughout my charts, you'll see that I have like very bad insight into my illness. Insight means that you acknowledge you have an illness and you acknowledge the effect it has on your life. I didn't know I had D.I.D. I thought I was not fine, never thought I was fine, knew I had severe trauma, but I did not know that I had amnesia for my amnesia, so I didn't know certain behaviors I was doing. And nobody was really helping me along with that one, because when they treat people with D.I.D., because they're so afraid that somebody is going to develop D.I.D. through iatrogenic means, like that means a psychologist working with a patient or a therapist, whatever, the relationship, instead of D.I.D. being a real response to trauma, they're thinking it was created iatrogenically, which means through therapy, that the therapist had expectations for D.I.D., so the patient unconsciously provided for them these alters to sate those, those ideas in the doctor's head. And if I'm a little strange, it's because like I'm Brandy, but I think I'm several others right now, and I'm trying to figure out who, but lately nobody's giving me their identities, okay? They're just kind of passively influencing me, and maybe I'm not even me, right guys? Maybe I'm not even me. I don't know. I kind of feel a little Jamesy. I feel a little Jamesy right now. James, are you there? Is that you? Yes, bitch, it's me. Okay, so I'm James. I'm James right now. And I think I'm Brandy too, so I guess we're co-conscious. Okay, so we figured it out. The mystery is solved. I'm James, and it's Brandy too. Okay, here we go. So if you read the journal, you should be totally shocked because it's goddamn insane that a doctor would, like, make me do that. To literally call part of myself the enemy. At the time, it seemed perfectly fine, and I did it. I literally wrote, I would call it the enemy in my own journal. So I can assure you there were consequences to that. Some of those consequences. So I wrote 3 journal entries on the same day. The first one was right after I saw the doctor in the morning, written in blue crayon. There's a second one written at noon that day, which you will see because it says, I wrote noon on there. And then there's a third one on the next page that's all written in red marker. And you will see a stunning difference between them. So, after I got the advice, hours later, I did another entry. And that's what that looks like, and I will have it on the screen. I would assume that the part of me that was considered the enemy was not having that moniker. They were not happy with it, and this is the way they were showing me they weren't happy with it. They wrote, I need to see my blood, no relief today, only the unrelenting urge, I need to see my blood, I need to see my blood, I need to see my blood. Okay, I'm gonna read this for you guys in a voiceover.
I need to see my blood. No relief today, only the unrelenting urge. I need to see my blood. I don't know what to do. I need to see my blood. Before night's end, I'm certain I will have cut myself. I need to see my blood. I thought that writing this would help, but it is not. I need to see my blood. 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 I need to see my blood.
And they drew a big puddle of blood on the page in marker. So judging by this, I would say to any psychiatrists out there or psychologists, if you're thinking of telling a person with D.I.D. to call any part of themselves, any one of their alters, anything similar to the enemy, or the bad one, or the evil one, or the whatever, you know what I mean? No, that is not how you do it. Do not treat people with dissociative identity disorder that way. Actually, I think Simon is here too. I don't think you guys know Simon, so it's like Brandy, James, and Simon. That's why I'm being a little bit more forceful. I think, is this Simon? Yes, this is Simon. My name is Simon. I am 26 to 36. I am male. I am a researcher for the system. When Brandy was in school, I would be the one doing the work. I also am a researcher for the Sphinx. I help her. I'm an assistant. I'm also an assistant to the poet. I do research for the poet as well. That is my job, my role in the system. And so I'm here to, I guess, finish this video, which I've been overseeing the whole time. So looking back on this, we all know this was a huge mistake. That is why we're making these videos. We don't want doctors making these mistakes again. We want them to see our channel, to see other D.I.D. channels, and learn how to treat us, because that is their job. Now, I would love to see some interaction on this video. Tell me what you think of what this doctor chose to do by calling us the enemy. It hurt a lot of Alter's feelings. It hurt the littles. It hurt the teenagers. The adults, they thought it was absurd. But at the time, Brandy did not know about us, and even though she was in treatment and her doctor was suggesting this disorder, she did not believe it because she believed in Sybil, and she thought she was not like Sybil, that it was too absurd. And so we just wanted to say one more thing, that you need to feel very lucky that you have access to YouTube. When we were in the hospital, it was 2004. YouTube had not been invented until 2005. We didn't have access to videos of a bunch of people talking about their disorder. We wish we had. Had we known, had we been able to watch videos like you guys can now, we would have been able to educate ourselves in a way that no doctor could hide from us. So, I'm very grateful this exists for you. Whatever stage you're in, I'm very grateful YouTube exists so you can see videos like ours, and you can learn from them, and maybe you can learn your motivations, maybe you can learn you have alters. That's very important. Knowledge is power. Brandy has that power now. Does she use it entirely to her advantage? No. Sometimes she's lazy, and we have to kick her in the ass. But we're all trying. We all recognize she is trying, and so we give leeway. We're not going to give leeway much longer, Brandy. You have to get to reading. You have to get to studying. No more games, no more fun. It's work time, okay? And for everybody else out there, Brandy is not here right now, but I'm sure she would thank you for watching. I guess she would hope you would subscribe and maybe leave comments. My name is Simon, and maybe I will see you again. Have a good day.